to my channel. She looks a little bit different. I read in my room. She looks amazing. I might do a room tour if you guys want that. But the book wall in the bed is perfect. I have, what's this called? A day bed now. And honestly, kind of really like it. Sometimes I still wake up in the middle of night though, being like, where am I? Because my bed used to go this way, not horizontal. So then I wake up and I'm like, where am I at? It happens. But yeah, this is what it looks like. This is where majority of my videos will be filming now. I did add Mr. Ilya for the purpose of this video. I did name my hockey puck jelly cat Ilya, because why not? People either name him Ilya or Shane. I went with Ilya. I could have named anyone out of these series, like Troy. I mean, I love Troy, but Ilya's perfect. I almost named a turtle Ilya right before I got him, but good thing I didn't. It was kind of like the backup name. I'm like, I don't want to name you Ilya, but you're there. I named the turtle Dorian. If I do a room tour, I'll have you meet him. But if you follow me on my other social medias, you might have already met him. But yeah, we're gonna go through the Game Changer series, if you can't tell. I got my shirt on. I was gonna keep my normal shirt on, but I'm like, let me put my Holland Off shirt on. And I think this even has like a makeup stain up here, because I wore this a few times while putting on makeup. But it's for the video. This is my only heated Rivalry type shirt. I have a few hockey shirts. I have a Boy Aquarium shirt, and then I have 2 Blackhawk shirts. But Blackhawks aren't in the playoffs, so and the Boy Aquarium's cute, but we're gonna go with Holland Off. This is from Girl Tribe. It says we didn't even kiss. That sounds right. On the back. I'm not turning fully backwards, but yeah. But a few notes to begin. Spoilers throughout this whole series. If you don't know what the airplane scene is, it happens in 2 books, then don't watch. If you only read Heated Rivalry in the long game, don't watch, because I'm talking about every single couple here. At the end video, I'm gonna go over book ratings and couple ratings, which is crazy. You would think they'd be the same, but I don't think they are. Like, I think Scott and Kip as a couple is higher than their book. So I'm gonna go through all that at the end. We got a full MMC x MMC series. This is the first MMC x MMC like full series I've read. I've read like a few books here and there, but nothing like this, and I fully enjoyed it. This series definitely ruined me going forward in books in 2026. Read all these in 2026, and every book afterwards is just like, I've had some good ones, but nothing compares to this series. Let's talk about these 2 books, Game Changer and Heated Rivalry. So I did not know Game Changer was in the show. I thought because it said Heated Rivalry, like, that it was gonna be this book and this book only. So I was told to just read this before the show, and that's it. That's what I was told to do, so that's what I did. I had no clue. I probably should have did a little bit more research than listen to like friends, but yeah, I should have done my own research, no clue Scott and Kip were gonna be in the show. Especially from what I saw, all I was seeing was Shane and Ilya. So, because I saw so many edits before the show, and I was just like, let me read this, and then we'll go back to the rest of the series, we'll be fine. So I read Heated Rivalry, watched the show, then went back to Game Changer. So that's a little messed up, and I feel like it did kind of ruin Game Changer for me a little bit. Not really like the long game or anything. The long game was fine, but I just don't think I got the full effect of Scott and Kip. But I also just don't think Scott and Kip's book is the best out of the series. And we'll get into that. Since we're starting off with Scott and Kip, let's go there. I listened to the audiobook almost this whole thing. Kip's, whoever does Kip's narration is horrible. And I think that's another reason why this book wasn't a 10 for me, because I feel like when you do listen to a audiobook and it's just not hitting, it ruins the story. And that's with this. So, Kip, the Boston accent, it's not good if you listen to audiobook. I think you can find it on YouTube, because that's where I used it. It's horrible, guys. It's horrible. If you're gonna read it, just read it. Don't listen to the audiobook unless they put out, like, the actors reading it. I will say, Kip in the show is so underrated. So underrated. The actor in general, Robbie, he is so underrated. And that's on period. I want to say that as a fan of the show. Also, I need to say that. But I love this book specifically for the more details than the show. There's a specific museum scene, which we kind of see in the show, but it's more descriptive here, and it actually, like, kind of plays a factor into Kip and Scott's story. There's a museum scene, it's specifically for Kip's birthday, and they kind of get a few pictures taken of them, and I love that scene, and I wish we got that scene in the show. That's one of the things I took most. Also, the dinner, there was like a dinner, I don't know if it was after a award thing, or it was something they went to together, and then went to it wasn't like, I'm confusing it with the show, but they, like, went to a really fancy restaurant. Like, there's only a few scenes that I remember out of this whole book. I do like seeing more of the art history, because you really didn't get that in the show. You see a lot about Kip and how he thinks within the book, which I'm also talking like this because I did watch the show before reading the book, which is kind of how I read this book too, I guess. But you see a lot with the art history, and even Kip being worried about money a little bit more in the book, and those descriptions are really good and how he feels, because I don't know how it's written, it's almost like Kip's rotten life. Every single thing he's worrying about, compared to the show. Like, we see so much of Ilya and Shane in the show in every aspect, emotion. I just wish we kind of got that in Game Changer. And I mean, we know a little bit more now because season 2 is in talks, kind of in the works. Like, this series is for Shane and Ilya, but as a lover for this book, I wish we get more of these people, just because their personalities are really great, and I'm obsessed, and Kip and Scott's whole story is just kind of adorable. But like I said, this book doesn't stand out. Other than the things I'm saying, I don't remember too much about this book. I think it's just there. It's the first in series. It starts it off. I will say what I did like about reading this after Heated Rivalry. The Ilya moments are funny. Going back into this book. So that's kind of cool to see. And I think that's a good thing about anyone who has read Heated Rivalry before the rest of the series is, or characters do pop up majority of times, and specifically Ilya in this book, or any of these books, just is funny with his little, I'm gonna call them one-liners. They're not always one-liners, but I love that type of character. And yeah, that's kind of all I got to say with Game Changer. But great book. Favorite in the series? No, but I still did rate it a 5-star because it is good. Next, Shane and Ilya. I love them. Where do we begin? What's crazy about this book? It's just a situationship turning into a relationship, which is crazy to think about, but I love them. But it really is. It's like, I forgot how many years, like 7. Is it? Like 7 years situationship? That's insane. Like, if you really think about it, really look into it, these two are a toxic pair. But, like, they're full on meant for each other. And honestly, for good reasons. Like, they both had their reasons for waiting as long as they did. Like, it's crazy, but they're meant for each other. What's also crazy, but we're gonna stick with the show name, because I can't even remember, like, the ones in the book. Really, Boston Bears and Montreal Voyagers. We're gonna stick to Boston Raiders and where's Montreal? Where's Montreal? Metros. Yeah, Metros. You would think I would remember that after sometimes watching it. But that's one thing I don't like from the book to the show, is we got 4 teams if you're reading the books and watching the show, but they're the same teams. But yeah, that's crazy. Team names. But I'm glad, because the bear tattoo, it was not cute. I'm glad that stayed in the book. It was not cute. Loon tattoo, which we'll talk about later, cute. Bear? No. No, Ilya. That tattoo came up way too much in this book. Why am I talking about things I don't like so far? I love this book, but I could go on a rant about the tattoo. I do think a little bit I got annoyed with the necklace too, but the necklace holds such symbolism. I guess it's different now, like after reading and watching the show, the necklace is completely different. But I'm trying to stick to my notes, but I can't. I will say a thing about both the show and the book is trying to keep track of the timeline. I don't know if you guys are good with this timeline, but we are bouncing back many different years. I don't know what happened what year. I'm sorry. It was hard in the show, it was hard in the book. I'm like, I can't keep track. I know their story. Do I know what year it happens? Absolutely not. I can't keep track of that. Why am I being so negative about this book right now? Let's get to more things I love. So this is a kind of weird thing to say I love about this book, but I really do, as someone who is an overthinker, has a little bit of anxiety, at times can get in her head a lot. We see a lot of that with Shane. Shane's always in his head. He's texting, deletes it, writes a new text. I love seeing that side of Shane. I really do. I can relate to it so much. So I just love a character that it's shown, because honestly, things like that aren't shown in books a lot or in anything really, and when it does happen, I'm obsessed with it. I love a lot of things like that. I love it in fantasy, and it actually kind of like comes up a lot. Like my favorite Rebecca Yarros's like Fourth Wing Empyrean series book was Iron Flame, because real things kept popping up within Violet and Xanon's relationship. I love that sort of feeling, and not a lot of people liked it because they thought Violet and Xanon were fighting over the same thing at times, but it could happen in real life. And another author who I think does it really well is Abby Jimenez, who brings things like, I think Alzheimer's happens, and she brings like a lot of like things that could be going on in family or in the character's point of view. I just am obsessed with those sorts of things in books. Some sort of aspect to make it a little bit realer, and in this series it's the mental health, it's the overthinking, it's worrying. Like, this series shows a lot of that, and I'm obsessed with it. But yeah, Shane's just such like a mind character. Like, everything's in his head, but I feel like a lot of things goes on in my head, and not everyone might know around me like what I'm feeling, just because like I'm in my head a lot. But again, this is why we love these characters. So I guess I'll say this now, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but Heated Rivalry is for the Shane girlies, and then the long game is for the Ilya girlies. Am I right or am I wrong? I think I may be right. Like, Heated Rivalry, we get a lot of Shane, and then in the long game, which we'll talk about later, we have a lot of Ilya. I mean, we get a lot of both of them in both books, especially this one, we get a lot of both. But I feel like we get a lot of Ilya in the long game, and a lot of Shane in Heated Rivalry. And I'm going with my other note. A lot of my notes are the same thing, but I put multiple times. But we get more Shane moments in here, and Ilya moments in the long game, which that's what I'm kind of getting at too. But a lot of major moments for Shane happen in Heated Rivalry, and a lot of big moments for Ilya happen in the long game. But we get an even amount of both of them in both books. Both books are really good. But yeah, this is what got us the show. I don't know what else to say about this, because I feel like now these first two books are really hard to explain because we have the show, and I don't want to confuse my show thoughts, because I've only read this series once all the way through, and the show, which I've seen multiple of times. Like, I just don't want to confuse a lot, but this one was really good, and it's so fast paced. Everyone's like, it's a slow burn. I know what you guys mean. It is a slow burn, but it's very fast paced. A lot of slow burns I get annoyed with because I feel like the book is slow. This book is not slow. You're brought right into the story, and a lot of these books in the series, it took me 2 days to read most of them, and a lot of them I was using the audiobook. We would love Hudson Williams and Connor's Story to narrate the audiobook, and that's on period. My favorite audiobook is The Summer I Turned Pretty. I don't even like the books as much as the show, but the audiobooks with the actors, amazing. I want that for this. Another one that's really good, I didn't even listen to the full audiobook, which shows how good the audiobook is the We Were Liars, but the person who plays it in the show. What I'm getting at here, there's been talks, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. But that would be ideal, is to have the characters read this, or actors read this, because yeah, that would be fun. Would we get like the Russian accent? That'd be crazy. Yeah, this really good. Let's get the next one. So I'll talk about them more later. I feel like it's gonna be easier to talk about them in the long game. I feel like I have more points for the long game. Tough Guy. This is the only one I didn't rate a 5-star. I love these characters, Fabian and Ryan. Love them. Fabian's a fun character to read, I will say. Just like out of the ordinary. We also get so many friendship moments between Fabian, which I love to see, and we get more of that throughout this series. Like these 2 books, we don't really get friends. We get Hayden a little bit, Elena or Maria, because I think the whole sunshine quote was in the book, because I feel like I remember reading that. But we don't really see a friendship group like Fabian's, which is really fun to see get brought in this book, and that gets stronger throughout this series. Very stronger. We see, especially like the long game and role model, we see full-on friendships in teammateship together. So I will say that Ryan is not my favorite character within this series. He's a very complex character, and I take that in mind, and he has a tough time making friends. He is bullied, and reading like the other books and kind of looking back on this one, being like, I feel a lot for Ryan, but he's just not my favorite overall. But he's going through a lot. He has trouble making friends because obviously he's been traded a lot, and then he gets this team and there's a little bit of bullying going on, or I don't think bullying's the correct word, but basically, but we don't see Ryan open up to his full potential. I think another thing with this book is I love aspects of this book, but I don't love the connection of our characters, which could be there. It is a second chance, which is really cute, but everyone has what they like, what they don't like, and this book just doesn't stand out to me, sadly. I do love, we have a songwriter type person in this book, which I did love to see, plus a hockey player. I mean, everything about this book should be my number 1. Like, I love the aspects of the book, but the storyline as a whole isn't my favorite. And the second chance part is really cute. It's a really cute book. But we do see Ryan open up to Wyatt, which I really like too, but then Wyatt leaves. And I think that's another thing. I think if Wyatt was in this full book and they kind of went through it together, this whole book as a friendship sort of thing, that he has a friend on the team, it would be different. I might feel different. But Wyatt maybe mainly is in the first half of this book, and then he leaves. But we see more of Wyatt later, which is fun. But I feel like Wyatt is Hayden. They're like the same person, same universe, but like for different people. Like Wyatt is Ryan's Hayden, and Hayden is Shane's Wyatt, sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's enough on this one. I think overall, what did I rate it? I think I rated it 3, because it was still really good, and the romance was definitely there, especially with the second chance, but just their story as a whole wasn't good, for me, at least, sadly. But I feel like I appreciate them more now that I've read the series and we see a few more. Oh, one last thing I want to bring up. Ryan being the one to get Shane and Ilya kissing. That's hilarious. The shyest guy in this whole series catches them kissing and he's like, I don't know what to do in this moment. That's one of the best parts. And that comes up later too. We're halfway through. Common Goal. Common Goal, I think, is underrated. A lot of people don't like this one. I get it, but I also don't get it. Like, I get it, but I don't. But Kyle and Eric, I think I like Kyle. I like that we see Kyle after Kyle and Scott. Why did I say Scott? Kyle and Kip. Probably that's why, 2Ks. Kyle and Kip. We see Kyle fall in love after Kip, which we see in Game Changer, which honestly I wish we saw in the show a little bit more too. But again, the show is mainly Shane and Ilya. But Kyle and Kip, that idea of it's just kind of funny, but they both find their person. But it's cool to see Kyle fall in love again after Kip, because he's kind of head over heels for Kip. Kyle and Eric kind of connect over their love for art a little bit. Like, Eric has a bunch of art within his apartment, and Kyle is art major type person, and them connecting over that a little bit I think is really cute, especially as someone who went to an art school. I don't know, I just appreciate when there's a love for art and books. What is kind of really cool is Kyle kind of changes, or he does like a lot of like fun things for Eric, like make mocktails so he can drink something fun with everyone else, even though he doesn't drink alcohol. I think that's really cute. It's really sweet. Like, a little gesture like that just added within the book is adorable. A little bit adorable. What is fun is this is kind of the first book we see a lot of main characters at the end. I do remember at the end of this book, Ilya comes back and I was just laughing out loud. But we also see Maria a lot in this book. Maria's a big part of this book, which she was kind of in Game Changer, but we see Maria a lot in a friendship. We see Kip. we see Scott, we see like everyone come back in this book, and I think that's kind of what I like about standalone series, is seeing the past people come back. And I think on top of their relationship and on top of the friendships together, I just really enjoyed this as a whole. I mean, their story does not stand out as much as I know some of these other ones, but it's really cute. I also think it's because, like, my tough guy rating isn't really high, but I don't know, I think I just love these two together. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I appreciate these two, and like, it's just the little things. Like I said, mocktail, Kyle makes a freaking mocktail at the thing. And the art, specifically, like that one party, Kyle was at Eric's house, and like they were admiring the one piece Eric bought in the house. Like, I know, that's just cute to me. And then Kyle even brings stuff for the mocktails to the party just to make sure Eric has something. It's the little things in books that just sometimes make it. I don't know. That's all I have to say for it. I feel like I should say more, but I might do a chapter by chapter type book club if anyone's up to that. I'm calling it a book club sort thing, but it would be on this YouTube channel, kind of going chapter by chapter each one. I don't know if anyone's up for that. If you are, please comment it down below and we can get much deeper into scenes, and I don't know, we could talk about it. We could talk more about it, because if you're like me, you're not over this series yet and need to talk about it some more, I would be willing to do that if you guys are up for it. I think I'd be up for it. I don't know how to film those videos the best yet. I tried it with the summer return party like last summer, so it's a lot of new stuff, but I'll see what I could do. We're getting on to one of my favorite. Oh, these two are my favorite. Harris is just such a character. Like, I met Harris in real life when I went to Columbia, and that's for sure. Harris is straight out. I even like think like Harris would have went to my college if he was a real person and lived in Chicago. Like, he would have. Like, he's just someone I picture so clearly. I'm like, you're a real person. You really are. He is. I didn't know his name at first, because like the audiobook, I had it on 2 point. I don't know if it was 2 point. It might have been like 1.75. It sounded like Harry or like something else. It did not sound like Harris. Now I'm like reading it. I'm like, oh, it's Harris. But I don't know. I love these two characters. Troy is such a complex character. He was kind of hard to like at first. I'm kind of like, I don't know you. Like, yes, we saw him in other books, but we saw him so little that I wasn't fully like, I don't know you yet. Yeah, I know you have your own book. We'll get there then. But he came from a very toxic team, and he did some things he's not proud of, and see him kind of overcome that. I'm just, I love seeing his growth within this book, and I love seeing some of our other characters, their growth. I am kind of in love seeing characters go from point A to point B. I know, I'm just obsessed with that. But yeah, these two are probably one of my favorite characters other than Shane and Ilya. Shane and Ilya is definitely like on a different level. Like, we got a TV show about them. But other than that, these two are definitely my favorite. I'm obsessed with these two, and probably the most excited I am to see on screen, especially Harris. I even saw and I'll link it down below, is some guy acting like Harris as if it's the long game, like kind of bringing his characters to life with like their social media post and everything. And I'm like, yeah, okay. He does a really good job as acting like Harris. Another thing, like with the little things I was talking about the last book, Troy remembering like little things like the apple and like his farm and everything is so cute. This book is also when we see Ilya with a puppy for the first time, which is really adorable. And we'll talk about it more when we get to the last book we can talk about right now. We see a very different side of Ilya compared to these two books. We see it from Troy's point of view and Kind Paris, and then we see it from his point of view, and it's really different. And right off the bat, what happened here, I wouldn't have got from the rest of the series and how people picture him. But that's the type of person Ilya is. But again, Troy just like getting Harris like the pin of the apple and just like remembering the farm and remembering things he likes while he's away is adorable. I think this is where I think like Ottawa is my favorite team of this series, and as we go even further in this series, because there is a 7th book in the works, Ottawa's just the best team and has the best players, and I love reading about them. So this is where I start being like, oh, Ottawa's a really good team. But we also see the Children's Hospital, and we see a few times, because I feel like Wyatt is a big one, which I think we probably saw in Tough Guy. We see the hospital a little bit, but like seeing these hockey guys with kids is adorable, and some of them don't know how to act, which I don't know if that was Ryan or if it was Troy, because like Troy is kind of like confident but shy at the same time. I feel like it's just because he's like finding himself within this book. We also see Troy and Ilya become really good friends, and that was a really cool friendship to see, and see both those characters like that. They do have a lot in common, but to kind of see them become besties is just so cute. And like Troy has not the best relationship with his dad, but kind of finds his own family with like his team and his boyfriend and his family. And we see a lot of puppies. We see a lot of puppies in these two books. That's so cute. Also, the Christmas scene. I just saw my note. The Christmas photo shoot. That's so funny. I don't have a picture of like a guy who could be Troy, and I feel like some characters I just can't picture it. Like Harris, I have a picture for. I have a few different ways they could go about when making Harris. I have a picture for. Fabian, I probably have a picture for. A lot of the hockey boys, I don't have a picture for. Obviously, Kyle, I know from the TV show, like, what he looks like. But, like, a lot of the hockey boys, I can't picture. I can't. I'm like, I can't picture you. I can picture Harris fully. But, again, Harris is, like, a real person. I feel like someone could walk up to me and say they're Harris Drover. Is that how you say his last name? And I'd be like, yeah, Yeah, you probably are. You probably are. And someone could completely lie and I'd probably believe them. I'd be like, alright, yeah, you're real. But he's just that type of person. But I don't have a picture of Troy, but that photo shoot, just like the thought of it with like a slight picture that I could pick of going based off this, uh, it would be so funny. With the puppy too, with Chiron? I'm close. I'm so close. I think I'm so far. It's just adorable. And airplane scene. A lot of people are reading Heat of Rivalry to the long game because they know about the airplane scene. I'm so glad I read it this way because I think it hits harder. I think it hits harder. It hit hard in this book. It hit even harder in this book. Just because this one is, you see it from Troy's point of view. What he's noticing. He's noticing every single person on this team as the plane's kind of going down. And he's noticing everything. He's noticing Harris. They hold hands. What? And then he sees Ilya texting. And he's like, oh, it must be a family member. It must be someone. And as a reader who's read the whole series, it's like he's texting Shane. And I think it hurt harder reading it from Troy's point of view with all the different aspects. It seriously hurt harder reading it this to the long game. And then long game, after reading the series, which we'll get into, it's just crazy. It hits harder. So I'm glad I read it this way, where I read Role Model first. I did read a chapter of the long game in the middle of the series because I'm like, I want to get back to Shane and Ilya. And I'm like, no. Put the book away. Read the rest of the series. Went back a bit. So glad I did that just because of how I felt with these two books. So, yeah, the airplane scene was a tough one to read. But I love emotional stuff with like that. Like, it's so crazy. It's so scary. And then Troy being like upset because he always made fun of Ryan and like then talks about it to Ryan later because he was upset of what he said to Ryan, his past self basically. Like, it just, Troy you can really fall for as a character. And like I said, these two are probably my favorites. And we see a lot again with the teammate in this book too, because we also kind of see like after the plane and they're there, the younger player, which I don't know his name. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. But he kind of looks up to Ilya and he's like looking up to Ilya being like, do we go? Like, I'm gonna go if you go. Like, that's so cute. Like, I just love this team dynamic that we see out of these two books. So yeah, I talked about all the points I wrote down and even a little bit more because again, Role Model is top tier, and Role Model in the long game fight for my number one almost every day. So yeah, but the long game, back to Shane and Ilya. This book is so emotional. I read this book basically in one sitting because I think I read like one chapter one day and the rest of the book the other day. So this was basically like a one sitting book. So it's so emotional, and it starts off like Ilya's not getting the best. Like, he doesn't feel connected into his team like he used to. He used to be kind of like the fun, joking guy, always going out. In this book, he's not really hanging with his team, not doing stuff with his team. And I feel like with all the other books and how the other characters in the series view him as a book, it's kind of shocking once you get to this book, but he does open up more and kind of becomes a different person as this book goes on. Again, Ilya is another big growth character. We see very early on again Hayden's kids marry these two, which is a slight foreshadow, but that's so cute seeing Ilya and Shane with kids. Especially like Ilya being down for anything, wearing nail polish, putting a crazy dress on, putting tiaras on. Like, I just think that's really fun and really cool to see Ilya do, which he kind of seems like a character who would be down with that. Kind of is upsetting because he does have like a niece, but isn't able to be that uncle for her, per se, because of his tough family life. So it's crazy. And I think he would want to be that for his niece, and I think he would have wanted to be there more for his dad. But he had such a hard family lifestyle growing up, which leads to this book, basically. But yeah, we see such an emotional side of Ilya in this book. A lot of it probably comes from his past. Like, it is really sad and hard to read this book, like how emotional it is. He's very depressed. There's a lot of anxiety going on, and I feel like I was very close to this type of down in early college years, and it's just, I love reading about it just to be like, I don't know, you would think people would go away from that, but these characters aren't real, but it's nice to see an author bring something that so many people feel in books, and I love reading that. I love mental health representation. I just like love seeing that time, and also seeing him open up and actually going to therapy after Shane suggests it, I think, and actually goes and tries it, which I know is probably really hard for him to do. We see that's hard for him to do, but he tries and he gets there. But yeah, again, he struggles with the team, but then we see him be really good besties. He makes besties with Harris, he makes besties with Tori. He just ends up being, he gets back on his foot, and again, we love seeing that growth. Another thing, Ilya's there for Shane no matter what he's going through, and yes, they have their moments. It's just crazy. This book is crazy. We also see Ilya with Shane's parents a lot, which is really cute. And seeing Ilya go crazy over Shane learning his move. We see them at the camp some more, I think, a little bit. Can see that throughout the other books too, but these two are going to be such good teachers, and I'm excited to see that in the series. Just like teaching kids and coaching, I guess. I don't know, what else do I want to talk about? I talked about the airplane scene, oh my goodness. And then like Shane afterwards like figuring it out, and it's just crazy. We see their wedding. We see their wedding. Harris picking the song though. Why is that? Why does that just make sense? Like they're like, we don't care. Like you do it. And then it's like, is it Diamond? Rihanna? Yeah, Rihanna Diamond. Like, just, alright, that's cool. It's just so random, but just for Harris to choose it, being like, has like 10 seconds to choose a song. It's just so funny. Hayden being the one to leak it off a Cameo. I forgot what they call it in here, but Cameo is like our version of it. Off a freaking Cameo video. As much as I would love for Shane and Ilya to be able to tell everyone themselves, why does it make so much sense that Hayden does it? It makes so much sense. I feel like I'm talking about so many different points coming back up again, but obviously we see Anya, their puppy. Ilya gets his puppy. But another thing is at the wedding, Ilya being like to Hayden's kids, being like, the wedding happened already. You guys saw that. This is just for show. Like, this is nothing else. You guys saw the real wedding. That's adorable. Like, it's just, I don't know, these two are so cute. The trophy scene, but like, I mean, yes, it's spicy, but like, just Ilya making sure Shane knows his worth, even when Ilya doesn't know his worth at times. They're just perfect for each other. I don't care about the situationship. They're perfect for each other. I'm obsessed with this series. I'm obsessed. But let's go ranking. Should we go least to first? That makes sense. So we know my least. Tough guy. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the dance mom. Like, we were waiting for better. You're supposed to be great with waiting for better. I never watched Dance Moms, so I don't know. But yeah, we start here, and then I think we'll probably go to Game Changer. I hate to put her there, but I feel like I like Eric and Kyle's story a bit better. I love Scott and Kip as a couple, but I think I was waiting for their story to be better. But I love Kyle and Eric's story better, so we're gonna put them there. Yeah. And then we're gonna go Heated Rivalry, because I love this book. I do. But I'm obsessed with the next two books, because I feel like majority of this video is me talking about Role Model and The Long Game. And then we're gonna put Role Model, which I hate to put, because she is my number one. I feel like Role Model and The Long Game are both my number ones. But The Long Game, emotionally and connection-wise, I think stands at the top. But I love Role Model. I do love Role Model. Now I want to sing Sally, and I'm fixing Ilya. Ilya, keep listening. Yeah, this is what we're doing. Now, favorite people is a little bit different. We're gonna move Troy and Harris number 1. No, it's hard. No, we're gonna put them second. Because Shane and Ilya is just too... Shane and Ilya is just too good. And the actors did such a good job. We love Hudson Williams and Connor Sorey. But Troy and Harris are right there. And then we're gonna put Scott and Kip. And then I do love Fabian. But Fabian and Eric as a couple. And then we're gonna do Kyle and Eric and Ryan and Fabian. And I think I was mixing up people as I was talking about. Because I think I said Eric when I meant Ryan. Just there. And you guys probably caught that. But yeah, I think couple-wise, least favorite, Fabian and Ryan. Then Kyle and Eric. Scott and Kip. Troy and Harris. Ilya and Shane. But if we just take Shane and Ilya away, like, Troy and Harris are my number 1. But it's just, I'm too emotionally attached to Shane and Ilya right now for not to be number 1. But I love Troy and Harris, as you guys can tell. But those are my ratings and couple ratings. And yeah, that's it. If you want to hear me rant more about these books, let me know, and maybe I'll do a chapter by chapter. And good thing I'm ending, because there's a lot more. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe for more. I'm posting every Friday. For now, I might switch the days. If you want to see me post every day, follow my Bookstagram. I'm pretty good at posting weekly, multiple times, if not daily. So yeah, follow me on there if you want more bookish content. Let me know any ideas you want for these videos. And that sounded so bad, but it's a keychain on the Jellycat. But follow me on all my social medias. All will be linked down below. I hope you enjoyed talking about this series. I can't get out of my head. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Here's me ending the video with Ilya's booty.